Hey guys, what's going on? It's 2 Minutes to Review. I'm Matt.
I'm Zach.
And if you haven't joined us one of these before, we're doing an album review. And inside of this album review, the caveat is we have to be under 2 minutes. Whoever's closest to 2 minutes wins.
Woo!
Zach, what are we doing today?
So today we are going to be reviewing a surprise release. Even though Weezer has a new album actually coming out in March called the Black Album, full of original materials, they, back in January, dropped a huge surprise on fans. After the success of their cover of Toto's Africa, they decided to do a full album of covers called the Teal Album. Now, we initially were going to wait to actually review both albums in one episode, but then the more we're thinking about it, it's like, you know what? They are putting so much more focus on this covers album. I mean, they obviously care more about this covers album than they do of an album full of originals, so why should we care?
Right.
Which makes me really sad to even say that out loud, the more I think about it.
Yeah, I mean, considering that every single time that an artist puts out like covers or things like that, unless it's the main focus, you're not doing anything else, like Garage Inc. from Metallica. That was the album that they chose to record and put out. But now you did that, and now you're going to go into an album full of originals.
I also, from a marketing standpoint, I get that they're getting so much more news headlines and whatnot, but I feel like they could have done this a little bit better. That would have made the Black Album even more popular.
Exit live. Oh, wait, wrong one.
Wrong one. But that's another story. And I think we should just get right into it.
Yeah.
Matt, how about you go first?
You want me to go first?
I want you to go first. Let me get my trusted Epic Footnote copyrighted alarm clock timer.
Also
AKA,
known as a stopwatch.
Also known as a stopwatch.
All right.
So, Matt, are you ready?
I think so.
Do you want to do some emo screams before we get into this?
They're not even emo.
They influenced emo bands. Just go with it. You're making this joke into a really awkward exchange.
Well, that's just me anyway. I'm just
That is
awkward.
just you. Yeah, just like Weezer.
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
So we already said it, but I mean, it really boggles my mind to think that Weezer's choosing to do their release schedule kind of the way they're doing it with the Teal album and then going into an album full of originals. Is anybody going to really even care about their full-length album after listening to an album of covers? Because normally covers are more fun. However, in this instance, I've never seen covers be done so safe and so unenthusiastic before. I know Weezer's that type of band that's always been like, you know, we're just gonna, you know, do our thing, and if it comes off as like nerd rock or just very unenthusiastic, that's us. That's Weezer. But I mean, you're doing fun covers, like you're doing Take On Me and you're doing Paranoid from Black Sabbath. You're doing these songs that are supposed to be fun, and they just don't sound fun. They're executed well from a technical standpoint, but they're just uninspired when you get down to it. And there was nothing on this album that made me just sit there and say, wow, that's a great cover. I actually like that more than the original, potentially. None of that, not even close. But the biggest point that I can make with this entire covers album is that it's just done well enough not to hate it, but not well enough to actually enjoy it.
Very nice. So, before we move on to mine, what star rating would you give this out of 5 stars?
The only rating that I could possibly give this, because it matches every single thing on this album, 2.5.
Fair.
Because it's like I said, I don't hate it, but I don't like it. So we're just going to go right down the middle, 2.5 stars.
All right. Well, now it's my turn.
All right. So my timer device. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. At the expense of sounding like a cheesy dad who's trying to sound hip in front of his kids, I appreciate having fun. I appreciate not taking yourself too seriously. And it's not like Weezer does a bad job. I mean, Weezer does a good standard cover. But everything about this album, from even the song selection to the arrangements itself, is just Weezer playing it safe. I'd say the only real songs that find the band taking a little creative chances and actually paying off too. When they cover No Scrubs, Stand By Me, Happy Together, there's little hints of Weezer thrown in there. And that's where it gets a little bit more fun. But the rest of the album is just really straightforward covers that stay true to the originals. And that's why it's so frustrating. Because if there's any band that could do a weird take on a song like Take On Me, or Sweet Dreams Are Made of These, Billie Jean, and even Paranoid, if there's any band that could Weezerfy essentially a song and make it so bizarre that it makes you question things, it's Weezer. And they could get away with doing that too. Instead, you just get covers that sound, it literally sounds like an album that was recorded by a cover band that's doing the wedding circuit. And they're like, you know what, we need to create a demo of ourselves so that when we're trying to get gigs, we can just use this to pitch ourselves. If they were a wedding cover band, I'd hire them in a second. But this is Weezer. And it's just, I love the idea of Weezer doing a cover album, but that's not what we got here. We just got a safe recording, and it's just so disappointing because all the possibilities that could have happened didn't come to fruition on this album.
Okay, we have a time. What is your star rating?
I was going to say 2.5 too.
Yeah.
Because again, they're decent covers. They sound like the original. I will hire them for a corporate gig. Like, I would hire them to play a party. But
that is actually a really good way of putting it.
Yeah. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. Maybe they're realizing, you know what? We kind of needed a new gig. We're not selling our own venues as much. Now, I also say this. I'm a fan of Weezer. I'm going to see them actually play Madison Square Garden in March. But, like, it's just so unfortunate. They could have, like, as soon as I heard they were doing Paranoid, I'm like, oh, I bet they get really weird with that. And then I'm listening to it. It's like, it wasn't even Rivers singing it either. Like, if there's any band that could, I didn't mention this either in my review, and I'm sorry for going on a tangent, but when a-ha does a better cover of their own song, you know you got a problem. Now, I say that I just actually discovered this myself recently. a-ha did, I guess, like a MTV Unplugged thing in Europe, and they did the most beautiful piano version of Take On Me that makes you rethink of that song. Look it up if you can. So again, my point being, if a-ha can do a better cover of their own song, you got a problem.
Well, I think Weezer has bigger problems than that, considering that they're sitting here promoting this
instead of an album.
Their real album.
It's a little sad.
All right, so down to brass tacks. Let's find out who won.
So since you went first, let me tell you your score. Can I get a drum roll, please? 1 minute and 28 seconds.
All right.
Mazel tov.
Respectable.
All right.
Zach.
Would you like a drum roll?
Yes. You did this in 2 minutes and 41 hundredths of a second. Just over. To the victor go the spoils yet again. Yeah.
That's painful.
Well,
that is real painful.
I'm very curious to know what you think about this as the listener.
Yeah.
What do you think of Weezer's cover album?
Please let us know on our social channels, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, @Epic Footnote, because I know that we're probably actually in the minority here. But let us know what your thoughts are. And I'd also recommend, maybe, self-plug promotion, that you check out a past episode of If You Have to Pick 3, where we actually name our 3 favorite covers. Let us know what you think about that as well.
All right. I'm Matt.
I'm Zach.
And we'll talk to you next time. See you later, guys.
See ya.